Hi, and welcome back to the live stream. Thank you, David, for remind me that I'm on mute. Thank you. I'm sorry, I was on mute. So let's go to the beginning. So welcome to the live chat. Another live chat like yesterday. But the reason why I do this again is yesterday I did a very interesting live chat. I compared those two synths, the plugin with the real thing. And when I was trying to make the live stream, make a video of the live stream that I did yesterday, I saw that there was my tag, my name tag, was on my face, so I couldn't use that for a video. So that's why I thought, why not redo that again? Let's make the same live stream again today for the same synth and the same plugin. So comparing those two synths. And also I have a question also for some of you are listening. Yesterday I was compare those two, but I had on my EX8P, you have 64 patches, factory patches, but I couldn't find the other 32 factory patches for the PG-8X. So if there is someone who knows where you can find that patches, the second layer of the patches, please let me know in the comment or in the chat so I can download them and also compare those in another video, of course, with my EX8P. So before I'm going to start, first of all, thank you for coming and watching the live stream. Feel free to like and subscribe, of course, and also feel free to leave a comment in the chat. If you have a question, just ask. Don't be shy, and I will try to answer those questions. Also, I set my synth in program change on. That's very important before you start. If you're using the DAW, like I'm going to use that now because I cannot play, so I programmed I played that before, some chords and some IDs, so you can hear that playing. So I programmed before, so we can change from one other to the other synth. But you cannot do that if you want to change the patch. And the synth is normally on off in default mode. So you must do that always, set the program change on. Then you can change that in your DAW. If you turn then your synth off, it will stay in that on. So the one time you do that, you never do that again. So it remembers the settings. So that was it for the startup. As you see, we are in the first patch. Also here on the EX8P, the first one here upstairs, and then here down. I also set a little bit of reverb on both synths, and I have here set my PG-800 for maybe tweaking a little bit the sound if it's not the same. I know the answer, and in the end of this video live stream, I will tell you what the difference are between those two, or is there a difference? And also for the Choris, I can compare also the Choris of the PJ with the EX8P. Are they similar? Are they same or not? So yesterday I didn't know, today I know. So let's get into it together, and we will see if there are some difference between those two. There is also another, we talked about yesterday also about another synth plugin that you can find, the Toll. But the difference between the Toll and the PG-8X, the PG-8X is free. You can use it on your DAW on your PC on Windows, but the PG-8X cannot be used on a Mac, or you must drive Windows on your Mac, so you can use it also there is always a possibility to use that on a Mac. The DAW, you can use it on a Mac. So, and the other difference, and I think the most important difference, is that the PJ is free and the DAW is the tool. Excuse me, the tool is not for free. So you must buy that if you want to use that as for VST. Now let's get started. Starting with the first patch, of course. Also set my synth so I can follow the chat before I go further. Okay, that's better. I hope everybody hears what I'm saying, and also we're gonna turn off on the synths. Normally they are on. Let's try. I'm gonna start with the EX-8P on patch number 1. There is no sound, but it's playing. So we're going to my user. That's the EX-8P, yes. Are you hearing me loud and clear? So that's the, for those just came in into the live stream, welcome. Okay, thank you, David. So that's the first patch. That's just the piano one. Now going to the other one. I set the level the same, so they are on the same level. And that's the PG-8X, so the free plugin that you can find. Now the EX-8P. And to be honest, like yesterday, I didn't hear any difference between those two synths. The same thing, identical. So that was also my conclusion. There is a difference, but I'm gonna tell that in the end where the difference is. But does that matter? I'm changing just like that, and you don't even. And certainly when you're using that in a song, you don't even hear it. Maybe if you're listening with headphones or speakers, then you will hear it, the difference. But I hear it. There are two differences. So let me know in the comment what do you think which are the difference. And we are just starting with the first patch. Going to the second patch, number 2. That's number 2. Turn that a little bit loud because it's quieter. The PG now. Now the EX-8P, PG, the EX-8P, no difference. And let's go to the second patch, number 3. also here. Are you hearing a difference between those two? If I set my finger on it, so you can, if someone knows which one I'm using now. We're going to the next patch. So as you hear now, it's the PJ that you're hearing. Going so the same thing, number 4. And now it's the EX-8P. So do you hear some difference, yes or no? Please leave it in a comment if you like, and tell me which difference that you hear. I think to hear the difference you must have some headphones on or speakers so you can hear clearly. There is a difference, but you'll be surprised where the difference will be, and not, is it sound-wise, is it something else that you hear, and that's all. For those who just came to the live stream, welcome, and feel free to leave a comment in the chat. Which one do you think? We are now. And David, which one do you think that? What kind of difference do you think that you hear? Because I know what the difference is, but when you're certainly when I'm using a patch with the Godis, then you will hear the big difference between those two, and I'm gonna let you hear that so you can hear the difference. So this sound is without the Godis, as you see here. There is no Godis. Then it will be difficult to hear the difference. They are almost the same. Can hear nothing almost. The difference, there is no difference here in this case, so it's almost. But now when I'm turn on the Godis, that's the Godis of the EX-8P, white, nice. And that's without. Now the Godis here, huh? So there is a difference between those two sounds. Now you hear it clearly. I'm gonna explain why that there is a difference, and that's also normal. Going to the next patch, number 5. It's a very nice sound. That's an Arco string. Same thing. I hear in this case a difference also. Number 6, the allow string. When you're using the strings are there. And here you can hear it very clearly. There is no compression, there is nothing on each channel. The only difference is a little bit of reverb for both. Same reverb. JX-8P, PG-8X. So before I go further, without any sound you can hear a difference. So what's the biggest difference between those two? Between the PG-8X and the JX-8P is the choris. The choris on the JX-8P is an analog choris, and it's like the Juno choris, a little bit noisy. Not so noisy as some of the Juno choris. This one is very quiet for a choris. And that makes that difference between the PG and the JX-8P. Sound-wise, there is no difference. They are exactly the same sound. For a digital synth, instead of the analog original synthesizer, there is no difference in sound-wise. But in the choris, there is a difference. And to be honest, I'm quite surprised about the sound of the choris on the PG-8X. For a free plugin, they have done a very, very, very nice job on that synth, on that choris. For digital choris, I found it very nice done. So maybe those guys who made that make a plugin, a choris plugin for the DAW, and you have the same Roland choris that you can have and use it on your DAW. So that's very great made for the PG-8X. The choris is incredible done. No noise, of course, because it's digital, but the noise on your JX-8P gives also a little bit of a character on the synth. You can compare it with when you're using a vinyl instead of a CD. On the vinyl, you have also that noisy and it's also, we will hear in some of the patches, it will be also more aggressive, a little bit more brutal than the PJ is cleaner, and that's normal because it's a digital synth. So why do you use the JX-8P? Because there is a little bit difference. There is a little bit of how do you say it? The analog thing that there is, and certainly in the filter you will hear that sometimes here the difference. But for a free plugin, to be honest, if you have that, never anyone will hear a difference in a song. When you use that in a song, no one will hear the difference if it is a plugin or the JX-8P. So it's a very nice and very good made plugin for free. And it's been a long time out. And there is another, the toll, like I said. You can, there is also the toll that you can use, but you must pay that. That's the one that you must pay. And it does also work on the Mac. In this case, the PG cannot work, or I must download also and put the Windows on your Mac. Next plugin, next patch, we're going to patch number 7, the high string. As you hear, there was no difference in the sound. Only the choris can make a little bit of difference, more noisy on the JX-8P. What's supposed to be normal because it's an analog synthesizer instead of the PJ is digital, and that gives also a little bit that character of the synths. And we will also hear when we are in other patches that the digital and the analog filter makes a little bit of difference, but You cannot say that this one is better than the other one. It's just a choice that you want to make. Oh, thanks, David. So we can do another patch. Number 7, the high string. In this case, I don't hear difference. Set the level the same. Identical. The only difference is the chorus, of course, that I hear. Going to the next patch, number 8. That's the voice. That's very quiet, so I'm gonna turn that up. And here you hear the difference loud. Because it's analog. Very clear, no noise on the PG-8, no noise, lots of noise. And there is one thing that you're gonna hear also when you're on those patches where the sound is not so loud and more in the low end, then you will hear that the PG-8X is more bassier, a little bit more in the low end, and the JX-8P is more brighter. It's brightness. There is more, a little bit more in the high end, and instead of the PJ is more in the low end. And that's the difference in the filter, of course. This one is digital, the other one. Can you make the same? Yes. I think it also depends on the settings of the synth. I think that there is a difference in the synth between those two, the settings. So I can let the JX-8P sound the same as the PG-8, the same thing. Let's try it again. You can hear it. That's the PG-8. I'm gonna do that on another sound where bass sounds, and you will hear that very clearly. I'm gonna turn off the chorus. Maybe there is a difference, but I don't think so. Now you hear the difference. The PJ is more bassier in low end. The JX-8P is more high end, but I can set the PJ So it's very difficult to try to replicate the same settings on the PJ. It will now there is a sweet spot, a very tiny sweet spot where you can have that set. As you see, on the PJ, it's set off here. It's the envelope generator is off. More key follow. I think now there are the same. It's in the settings also sometimes. It's sometimes in the setting. And the best thing when you're trying to replicate, first you're gonna set your synth as close as the settings, like here, as close, and then you're gonna listen and not look at the settings, but listen to the sound and adjust that till you hear almost the same. Now it's, I think, the same. Only the difference is in the Godis. I'm gonna set off the Godis, and then you will hear there is no difference. No difference. There will be always a little bit of noise because there is an amplifier on the synth. It's analog. That gives always a little bit of noise. That's normal. Also, you come with the synth through the mix table. You have also that noise that you have. You cannot delete that. That's not the same thing like a plugin that just digital sent to the mix table without any noise, of course. Like I said, there is no two synths are never different. There is no two synths are identical. If you have a vintage synth, even the same EX8P, you can have 5 EX8Ps next to each other, and all 5 they will sound not similar. There will be always a difference. Same thing with the Juno, the same thing with the other synths. The differences in the component, in the parts they use in each others. In the parts are not 100% the same build. So there is always a difference in each part that is built in the synth, and that gives also the character of a vintage synth. Instead of the digital, the plugins. I'm fond of the plugins. I'm not against the plugins. They sound always the same, identical the same. So when you're using that as your instrument, everybody who use that and create a sound with that synth will sound the same thing. If it's there is no difference. Instead of when you have an instrument like a vintage synth or an acoustic instrument, there is no instrument that sounds identical the same. There are even if it's a vintage synth, you don't find any analog vintage synth that sounds identical as the other synth. There is always a difference, and that's because the parts are always a little bit different, and that make all those changes in the sound, and that make also the character of a synth. So that's why I'm also fond of analog synths, and I find the digital plugins very useful. But for a recording in a live studio, I prefer a live vintage analog synthesizer than in the box creating sound, to be honest. That's my opinion, of course. You can put your opinion in the chat. Feel free. I'm happy to know that. What do you think about that? So, for those who doesn't have that budget or the money to buy or place, then is this the PG-8X the best? I think for me the best replacement for the EX8P. So, if you have not enough space, if you don't have none of the budget for a vintage synth, that's the best way to have the same sound than in vintage synth without question. So next, number 9, going to number patch 9. I think also it's an organ now. The PJ is so cleaner, and that's very nice, but also same thing that take off the character of the synth, of the sound. And what do you think? Let me know in the comment, in the chat, if you like. And also the PG-8X, the more that I listen to it, it's a little bit aggressive than the PG-8X8. 8X is a little more less aggressive than the than the EX8P. Let's get started again. For those who just came into the live stream, welcome to the live stream, and feel free to like and subscribe, and more important, free to leave your opinion in the chat. That's more important than the likes and the subscribes, to be honest. And also I'm gonna put the same question. Does anyone knows where you can find the second layer plugins, second layer of patches for the EX8P, for the PG-8X, because I don't have the first one on this synth. I don't have the second one because the EX8P has 64 patches, factory patches instead of 32. But I cannot find the second layer for the PG-8X. So if there is someone who knows where you can find that, I tried to look it up on the internet. I didn't find it. Just found the first bank and not the second one. So please, if you can help me, just leave it in the comments so I can make another video and compare those to also the second layer. Next is number 10. It's also an organ sound. That's also sounds that the PJ and the EX8P are very strong with. Same thing here. You can hear only the difference between those two because there is a difference in the chorus, and sound-wise it's always the same. It's the same thing. It's the same synth that you hear, and in a song you won't hear the difference when you're using that sound in a song. Number 11. Very nice pipe organ. Love that sound. No difference. no difference. I don't hear difference between those two on patch number 11. Number 12. And that's a percussive sound. Timbales. Then it's identical. So we are now at the 12th patch, and there is almost no difference between those two synths. So they did a very nice job, and also for the choris, well done. I think the best digital choris that I ever heard. So if I can find that in a plugin for my DAW, that will be very nice. Or if you have also an idea which choris come close to that choris of the PG-8X. Nice. Those who just came into the live stream, welcome, and feel free to leave your comment in the chat. What do you think about those two sounds? Does they sound, and those two synths, does they sound similar, or do you find that the real thing is better than the plugin? What's your opinion about that? Just leave it in the chat or in the comment, of course, as you like. Going to number 13. Identical. I don't hear difference. I'm just changing from one to the other. As you hear now, identical. And I mean identical in sound-wise. That means that the sound sounds the same thing, but there is a little bit difference because the chorus, of course, like I said, that's an analog chorus. This one is digital. This one is also connected directly digital on the mixing table. The other one is comes with two jacks into the mixing table. There is no DI between those two because it's not a distance that I must go, and that gives also a little bit of noise. And also, of course, the amplifier in the synth gives also, because it's analog, give that noise. Some of you will like that, otherwise things I like clean sound. Like I said, when you have everybody using the PG-8X, everyone has the same sound, so maybe every song will sound the same. But when you're using vintage synth, there is not even one synth that sounds the same. There are always differences between each of the synths because the parts are never the same. And that makes also the charm of a vintage synth. That's why. Going to the next patch, that's number 14. That's the typical Bell FM sounding sounds. Will that be the same? The same, only a little bit more low end on the, but as you know, the low end has to do with the settings, because I can set a little bit the synth that it sounds identical, so that's nothing to do with the, you can have the same low end on the JX-8P as on the PG-8X. So the PG-8X is a little bit more in the low end. The JX-8P is a little bit more in the high end. So that's the difference also, but it has to do with the settings, not to do with the synth itself, because you can let them sound identical. Next, number 15, and that's the bass sound. And here we will hear some difference. And for some of you will say, okay, I love the PJ, and some of you say, no, I prefer the DX. The bass in the PJ is lots more bassier, but I can there is more definition in the high end on the JX-8P. And that is also a little bit because the chord is a little bit different. So, like I said, the JX-8P is less bassier than the PG-8X. So for those who think I want to have that bass sound a little bit lower, then you can use the PG-8X instead of the JX-8P. The JX-8P has more definition in the high end of the sound, and that gives also the charm of the synth, and that's also what I like this synth. But even then, that's the second bass that I'm gonna let you hear. That's one of my favorite bass sounds, and it comes through the sound, through the mix, because of that. It's not so low, but it's low. It's low enough, but not so low. But even then, that's patch number 16. That's the synth bass. It's one of the best synth basses that I found for me, that I'm using also a lot. So there is some interest in the. Feel free to leave your opinion in the chat. Don't be shy. I'm not. And also, if you have a question, just ask. And if you can help me, I'm searching for the second layer for the PG-8X that I have on the JX-8P, because I don't found that on the internet. The second layer, the patches on the second layer. Someone knows where you can find it. Please let me know, so I can download that and also make a comparison between the second layer of the PG-8X and the JX-8P. The bass, the synth bass, one of my favorite bass sounds. What do you think? Here you hear the difference. There's more low end on the GP than on the JX-8P. I'm gonna try to replicate it on the. Almost the same. There is more definition on the JX-8P than on the PG-8X. The chorus sounds very well on the PG-8X, but the sound is a little bit more different. There's more difference between the high and I love the contrast between high and low in sounds. When you have that, and they sound very, you must have those two, and that's very nice to hear. Oh. So if I want to make the same I must turn that a little bit down because it's too much. That's too much. Less key following. That's almost similar. So, as I said, it depends on the settings sometimes, certainly in the bass sound. Okay, now as you know, the PG-8X was on those days came out for how do you say it, for as a sort of comparing the DXS7 to create that digital FM sound, so they can compete with the Yamaha DX7. That's why the DX-8P came out. So analog, but also a little bit with that FM sounding sound, with that cross mode here that I use here. So you can have that a little bit FM sound on the synth, and it can produce that bell sounds also. So that's also why they came out. And that's also maybe why they are a little bit more in the high end than in the low end. But even then, you can have very nice fat bass sound and very nice low warm sound on this synth. That depends on the settings of the synth, of course. That's nothing to do with. So, and in that case, I think sometimes it's an underrated synth, the DX-8P. But you can have the same charm, same sound on the PG-8X, and it will cost you nothing. It's for free. So just grab it and use it in your DAW. Next, number 17, and that's one of the famous patches that you have on this synth. There are two. This one is the first soundtrack. Everybody knows that. For those who know that, and the younger one, it's from Train Spotting, I think. Yes, a very nice sounding patch. One of my favorite patches of all time. Love that. I'm gonna set it in chorus number 2 instead of 1. That will sound better. And now you hear the difference between those two. Like I said, the high end on the DX-8P is more defined than the high end on the PG-8. More low end on the PG, less high end. There is a lot of low end, but more high end and mid-tone. More defined. Like I said, I did the same video yesterday because when I want to recreate, want to make from the live stream a video of it, I saw there was my name tag on my face. I didn't remove that. I didn't saw that even when I was making this video live stream. So because that, I redo the live stream. But the second time when I'm listening now to the patches, I hear more nuance and more difference between those two. The DX-8P is a little bit more defined in the high and mid, where the PG-8X is more bassier and not so defined in the high and mid end. That means also, and that's maybe very important, that when you're using that in a song, in my opinion, I think that the EX8P will cut better through the mix than the PG-8. PG-8 will be more as a second bass to make that low end more lower. When I add those two together, then you have that high definition and the low. You can combine them. If you like, you can use both of them, and then you have better sound again than only one of the two. Let's try that. Both. Going left, right. I can do that if I want. Unlink those two. I unlink them so I can they stay in MIDI, of course. Go left, right. Left, left. And the other one I'm going to set it right. Now you have the two of them combined together. And that sounds very nice, to be honest. So what you hear now is on your left side the EX8P, in your ear on your right side the EX8P. So that's what you're hearing. You must have some headphones or speakers, and they are sounding very nice. But to make that a little bit better, in the middle also a little bit more. Now you have fantastic sounding sound. So that's the trick that you can do if you like. Pan left, right, one is the other, one synth, the other one, and make another track, and the second left and right just in the middle. Set them to the middle so they can give you the sound always also a little bit more in the middle. Then you have that wide and dip, that, like you see. You can try that same with another sound, the second one, second patch. There is, like I said, there is a difference. So when I'm going to link those two again, and compare those, there is a difference. EX8P more in a high end, PJ more in a low end. More less definition as in the. Going to the next patch. So that was the famous soundtrack that you can hear in Trainspotting, I think, yes. Or was it? It was Moby, I think. Yeah, it was Moby. If I'm wrong, just correct me if I'm wrong and let me know in the chat. Next one is number 18, and number 18 is the Fat Fifth. One of my favorite on this synth because I'm using it. I use that for some of my project that I do. I like that sound very much. Maybe also with the trick that I did with the left and right panning, both synths. So comparing first. This is the EX8P, PG-8, same. A little bit more in the high end. Less high end, more high end. And if you ask me which one do you prefer, or I said the EX8P because it has more definition in the high end. If I want to have this synth sound lower, I can do that just with my equalizer, make it a little bit lower, and you have that bass, but you cannot do that when you have a lower sound on the PJ. So what do you have to do? Cut off a little bit that bass and turn off. You can do that, but it will be not the same. So I prefer the EX8P. But don't be, if you have the PG-8, it's a perfect synth for replicating the EX8P. Can I like a little bit more open? A little bit more. Well, so to have that sound, you must tweak that a little bit, set the filter a little bit open, and you have that almost the same identical sound on the EX8P. And then it's more useful when you're using that with your high-end definition. Next is number 19, Rest Bell. We will hear. Identical. No difference. Certainly when it's high, you don't hear that noise in the chorus. No difference between those two. The same thing. Going to the next, number 20. Now the same thing, more high end, less high end. So I must set the filter a little bit open. Too much. Now it's the same. Just in the settings. What do you think? Just leave it in a comment in the chat. In this case also the same thing, no difference, only when you're, there was a little difference, but I think it's just in the setting and that's it. Set the filter a little bit more open and that's also the same thing. Maybe it's based on another EX8P with a little bit different filter, because like I said, every synth is different because every part that is used in the synth are not identical as the other parts on the synth. There will be always a difference in the resistors, in the in all the parts that you use. The transistors, normally there will be the same. The caps are not the same. There is a difference, but certainly in the resistors there is always a difference. Next is number 21 that you're gonna hear, and that's Tom. That's a percussive sound. The same thing, the filter here, that's a bit more filter. That's too much now. Identical, the same thing. Don't hear a difference. Nice. Next is number 22, clavier, and that will be, I think, also the same. Now we're gonna start with the EX8P, and I'm gonna set also the horizon. You hear more the definition of the choris. Does it sound the same or not? If you ask my opinion, identical. Also nice sound, nice one. The next one, we're going to 23, that's rest deal, lead sound, rest lead, that's the name of the patch. All those patches you can find them on the internet, they are free. You can use them also because when you're downloaded it, I thought they didn't know that there was no factory patch on the PG-8X. So I downloaded that I found that on the internet, just the first layer, not the second layer. Like I said, if there is someone who knows where I can find the second layer that I have on the EX8P, I would love to have that. Hi Tom, welcome back. That's the synth that comes close to the Juno. I think for me that's the synth that comes close to the Juno 60 and the Juno 6. It has more that rough sound of the Juno. I have that. I can compare that with my Super 6 Udo Super 6 that has the same sound as the Udo Super 6. It has the same character also, I found. I was almost trying to buy one, but I have no space here, so I cannot buy it. I must have space if you want to buy it, because they are not so expensive also, the EX3P. If you have them both, that's better. It's a great synth. Certainly also a very nice arpeggiator on the synth. So thank you, Tom, and welcome back. Yesterday there was some name. My name patch was on my head. I didn't see that. No one saw that, I think. So when I was editing the video, I want to make a video of the live stream. I saw that. I saw I couldn't use that for a video. So I must redo the live stream. So I did it today now. That's why I do the same thing twice. Not because I had to do that, because there was a great attack on my face yesterday. No one saw that or said to me, there is your name on your face protected. So it was strange when I saw that. And I didn't even saw that when I was making the live stream. Very strange. So welcome back, Tom. And also, if you find a DX3P cheap one, just buy it, because it will. I think the price will raise for certainly for that synth, because it's a very very nice sounding synth, and also very good looking synth. Next is before, also for the JX-8P, I know there is no aftertouch on that synth, so beware, there is no aftertouch. So maybe to consider that when you're buying that synth. But it will be always a nice adding nice synth in your studio, to add that on your with the rest of your instruments. Next patch, we were now the lead sound. Same thing here. The bass is less in the JX-8P than on the PG-8X, so I can try to recreate that on. Thank you. There will be other streams again. Go do the same thing with the DX7 again once. And the Dexit is also very interesting. Certainly when you're stacking those DXits together and creating different sounds. I'm gonna repick it. So if I copy paste the setting, it won't be the same sound. More there. That's the closest that I can get, just because it's very sensitive. So there's always a little bit a difference, because it's not the same digital and analog. You cannot create identical sounds, but it came very very close. To the next patch, number 24. And that's one square lead. And here I hear a difference, a big difference. Now, same thing, more in a hull. think also the difference is in the chorus. In this case, the chorus is off, you know, so there's no chorus. Oh, excuse me, there's no chorus. That's close. But there is a difference. The envelope generator is not the same. Try to replicate the envelope generator. It's almost same. So there is always a little bit of difference. You cannot copy paste identical settings to the PG-800. There will be always a difference. That's normal. Going back, like I said, copy paste the same settings on a Prophet 5. You have two different Prophet 5s. You're gonna have a different sound, or that's automatic. Certainly analog synths. Next 25, we're going to next 125. This one is a sync lead, starting with the JX-8P. Same thing, only a little bit louder. A little bit more of a filter. Identical. They sound the same. Or not, do you think? Next one. 26. The second pageant, very famous, the polybrass, the final countdown. That's a synth that I use for that song. So the polybrass, number 26, the two famous sounds. So 26 and then I think 19, yes, number 19. That's also very nice sounding brass sound. Also one of the best brass sounds. Same thing, enough of low end, but more definition in the high end. Like I said, if I want to do that same thing, I must turn up the filter a little bit. A little bit more. Sound-wise, identical, just that the filter is sometimes less open on the PG-8X. Maybe they use it on another EX-8P that has a little bit different filter sound, but they did a very well job. They did a very well job for this on this synth, for the sound and also for the chorus that I create on digital. Very nice. So next, so the famous polybrass, also the same thing, sound similar, no difference or slightly difference, but even that, just the settings, just set your synth a little bit more open in the filter and then it will sound identical. That's a soft brass, the low end in the synth, very nice. Love that. And here the definition is there not, so I must turn off, open the filter a little bit. Now it's better. That's more like it. But as I said, now that's too much. Compare those two. Only the chorus make the difference in this case. The noise that you hear, the chorus is a little bit different, but it has a very nice chorus on the PG-8X. Nice done. We're going to patch number 28 now. That will be the tap brass. I'm gonna turn on the chorus also in this case. The same thing, filter must open a little bit more. Almost the same. The chorus, that they make the difference. Like I said before, the difference in those synths are the chorus. There is more noise in the EX-8P, and also that the filter is a little bit less open on the PJ, but you can set that. And the definition on the EX-8P is a little bit more in the high end, what makes that sound a little bit more brighter, and will also be a sound that cuts more through the mix than the PG-8. And that's the big difference between those two. But when you are using it in a song, you will hardly notice that it's a PJ or it's a EX-8P. The otherwise, when you're using the TAL, you talked about yesterday, the TAL EX, I think it's called the TAL, yes. The name was the TAL E8X. That's the synth, the TAL E8X. When you're using that, it's a plugin that you must pay. It's not for free. I heard some sounds and some comparison, and to be honest, my opinion is it sounds not the same as the EX-8P. Could be that it's the settings, I don't know, or the chords they're using then, but in my opinion that the PJ is more closer to the EX-8P than the TAL. But it sounds very nice and very great. It's a very nice and great plugin. not so expensive, even for that. But to emulate the EX8P, I think that the PG-8X does the work better, does it better than the Tall. So if you want that sound of the EX8P, and just download the PG-8X, you have the same sound, much cleaner, less noise, and also it takes no space, of course, and you don't pay nothing because it's free. And that's the beauty of that plugin. The only thing you must do if you have a Mac, let your Mac drive on a Windows, then you can use it. If you don't have Windows on your Mac, you cannot use it. That's the only negative minus point on that plugin. So that was the tap brass. Love that brass sound on the EX8P. That's typical Roland sound. Roland is identical. Do you hear the difference? Just let me know in the comment, in the chat. Leave it behind. Of course, the filter, and in this case, the chorus. Going to the next one, 29. In this case, what you hear now is a PG-8X. And that's an EX8P. And to be honest, I don't hear nothing. There is no difference. When you have those bell sounds, they sound identical. There are no difference. Identical. So like I said, it's a very nice plugin, and for free. Going to the next one, 2013. That's a bell sound, a church bell. It's Sunday, so why not? But even for those who are Catholic, always the same thing. No sound difference, only the chorus that makes a bit that noisy sound in the background, but and a little bit brighter also. The more I listen, the more I can hear difference in the sound. That's normal. But if you hear that the first time, you won't hear nothing, no difference. That's too much. It goes out of tune. Go to the next sound, and then we are almost at the finish. 31. That's also bells. Bubbles, excuse me, bubbles. Not so specific sound, but it's nice. And when you compare those, only the chorus is the noise. There is a bit noise on the EX8P, a little bit, but it's not. There is a little bit. I think that's too much. It's too much. Identical. What do you think? Does it sound identical, or is there a difference? Feel free to let me know your opinion about that. Then finally we go into the last patch, the last one. Ooh, that's too much. Patch number 32, also here. The last patch. Identical, okay, again. But now, same thing. The filter is open a little bit more the filter so it can. Keep following. So that's the last patch that I let you hear. And same thing again. Sound-wise, almost identical. There is only the filter is a little bit more closed in the PJ. Or in this case was the key following that was not so open in the last patch. And the noise on the chorus, there is more noise on an analog vintage synth, of course, that's normal. Then on the digital, there is no noise there. And that make also the difference. And there is a little bit more definition in the high end on the EX-8P instead of the PJ. PJ has a very nice sounding chorus. I must say, I'm very surprised by that. It sounds so well because the chorus on the EX-8P is one of the chorus that I love the best in my whole studio, and they did it on a digital plugin for free. That's very nice to do that. And that's it, I think. Would I command you to buy the EX-8P? If you like the difference in synths, like I said, the vintage synth is always different. There is no other synth sounds like the other synth. It's always a piece that it's a unique, that its hand is a sound that is unique because all the parts are also different in each of the synths. So you can't have the same synth and the same sound when you have five different EX-8Ps. They will sound 5 times different. But you don't have that on the PJ. They sound identical. So if you like that, if you want to work in the box, then the PJ is idea. You can do that also with the EX-8P. Like I said, using your DAW, turn off the program change, and you can also, I think, use the PJ to program your EX-8P. If I'm wrong, just leave it in the comment. But I think you can use it also as a MIDI control. So you don't have to buy the PG-800 if you like. So you can do that also digital. I think you can do that. Yes, I did that also once. And so that's also interesting. If you want to do that, I think I must send my PJ, because now then is the input. Then I must choose my inputs. How did I do that? Is my input not sending? Yes. No, I don't think so. Or I must go to the settings in this case. No, that's not that random. If no one knows how to use your PG-8X as a remote control for your 8XP, I thought I thought I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. But through MIDI. But I know they can send those patches to my EX8P, if I remember. No, because that's a plugin, so I must. Otherwise, I can use the PG-800 as my input for the. Well, we'll try. We will try. We'll see if it works. So what I do, that's my PG-800. That's the EX8P. So when I'm turning off the, it doesn't do that. Turn off the EX8P. Open the. So the input is now from. Like I thought, it won't change nothing. Doesn't do nothing. When I'm turning on, nothing. It doesn't come to. But when I'm doing that, the EX8P, I can use my keyboard to play with the PG-800. And I think when I'm controlling the panel, maybe I will try. But I can play it with my hands when I do that. So. So what I did, I tried to use the settings of the synth to change the settings on the PG-8, it won't do that. I set now the sys exclusive on, so it will receive commands from here, but I don't think so. And that's the reason. I don't know why. So if there is someone who can help me with that, just leave it in a comment. So it can. I don't know why. But that's not the reason why you're using the PG-8X. You can use it as a synth. That's no problem. And if you're using it as a synth, then your keyboard, your MIDI keyboard, you can use it. So that's very useful like that. You don't have to. But so if there is someone who knows, my first question was, is there someone who knows where I can find the second layer? Because there are 64 patches on the EX8P. I just went to the first 32. But if there is someone who knows where I can find the second layer of the EX8P patches, so I can also put them in the PG-8X and compare those also. And the second one, how can I use the PG-8X as a remote control for the EX8P, or if I don't have the PG-800, or is there another way to do that? Is there other options, other plugins that you can use to use that? I think I saw one. I used one once. I didn't. It was not this one. Sort of remote control plugin to connect that with your. But forget which one was that. So if someone knows that, just feel free to leave it in the comment so I can make also a video on that, of course. So that was it for today. I hope you find it interesting. You enjoyed the live stream. Next time it will be, I think everything is all right now, the video. There is no name on my face here, so everything is okay. So this one will be useful for making the video. So I record live, and then after that I'm gonna edit the live stream and make a video of it to make it a little bit more how do you say it, smaller. And for the next time it will be the DX7 and the DX8. Compare those with the factory settings and also with the option that you have with the DX7 and the DX8, what you can do with it, because it's very interesting. It's also an interesting thing to have in your studio or as the plugin in your DAW. That is for the next video. And for those who came by, thank you very much for come and watch the live stream. And also for those who who put a comment, their opinion in the live chat. Thank you, and thank you, Tom, and also David for the comments. And we will see each other next time in another live stream. Stay tuned, take care, and see you next time. Bye.